So Call of Duty Vanguard has just released, and today I'm going to give you guys the top settings you guys can use so you can dominate everybody else here in Vanguard. I'm having a ton of fun with Vanguard multiplayer right now, loving up my weapons, trying to get gold camo and everything like that, and of course dropping a few V2 rockets in the time being. I feel like I've perfected my settings, so let me go ahead and give you guys the ones that I'm going to be using here personally throughout the entire year. Of course, I'll give you guys an update if they ever change, but these are going to be the ones that I'm going to suggest to you to try out, and I think you guys are going to love them. But before any farther, make sure you guys go ahead and drop a like next 5 seconds and subscribe with all notifications turned on for everything Vanguard, including class setups, tips, tricks, and updates. Just to give you a little bit of proof to the pudding here, these are my stats here on the opening night of Vanguard. I've been having a lot of fun here, just dominating. I currently have a 4.69 KD. I think I have about like a 3-ish or 4 in Warzone, and I've been actually dominating here on Vanguard pubs. So this is what my go-to, and I've been using the MP40 and the STG a lot right now. Okay, so gentlemen, here, of course, I'm going to be playing on PC with a controller. I'm just using my PS4 SCUF controller because that's what I've been playing with here on Warzone, and I did that for the entirety of Black Ops Cold War, and I'd highly suggest for you guys to be able to get, you know, a PC, of course, or a next generation console, like a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X or whatever it's called. Very briefly here, though, I want to go over just some of my settings. I have a really solid PC computer build, and for any guys out there that are wondering, like, what you should be playing on it, I just want to keep this very brief here in terms of the graphics and everything like that, just because I am playing on PC, and a lot of guys out there are going to be watching this play on controller and stuff like that, or on console. So I just want to tell you guys, I'm playing on like medium to like low settings, on only stuff that's not really going to affect my game too much. So you guys can pause this at any point in time and basically, you know, jot this down, but there's really nothing in here that's going to be absolutely crazy. I don't play on high anything because I'd rather have better frames. Of course, better frames means I see stuff, you know, more fluidly, and that's always better. Okay, so let's go over some of these settings here. They're going to be pretty beneficial for you guys to know. And the first, we're going to jump into the gameplay, then we'll jump into the controller and everything like that so you guys can see different sensitivities, but this is going to be really important. So the target aim sensitivity, of course, is on. That's going to help you guys out. If you're on controller, you should always be doing that. My target aim assist is just going to be on default. Basically, default is going to play like how Warzone is. So if you guys are familiar with Warzone, you play Warzone, this is going to be what you want to run. I would suggest this. It feels fantastic, and I wouldn't really just move it around any other way. I don't feel like any of the precision, the focusing, the Black Ops, anything else like that is going to be any bit more beneficial for you guys to use in terms of aim assist. I just wouldn't necessarily go down that route. It's not going to do you any benefit. Now, something you guys should be definitely taking into consideration is this, which is going to be your automatic sprint. I actually have this on automatic tactical sprint, and what this is going to do is if you have this on, it's of course when you push the stick forward, you're automatically going to tactical sprint as much as possible, in which in case if you don't have automatic tactical sprint on, you will then be needing to then, you know, constantly mashing on the analog stick, which if you play on controller, you guys know that you'll start getting stick drift. You'll wear out your controller faster. So in the spirit of not wearing out your controller nearly as fast, that's why we're to put that on, and that should always keep you in like a space of trying to move around as fast as possible, and that's going to be super beneficial in Vanguard because the more movement you have, the more you're able to juke out people, the better off, generally speaking, you're going to be. Something that I would definitely recommend, though, also is having your sprint cancel your reload. I like this as a setting here for public match multiplayer. In Warzone, it's not that big of a deal just because, you know, you want to play it up while you're sprinting and stuff like that or running around. So I would definitely say that in public match multiplayer, though, when your life is just pretty much like you only have this much health in comparison to Warzone where you have plates and everything, having the sprint to cancel reload can be very beneficial, so you can maybe stop yourself from reloading and be able to fire off the last couple shots of your mag, as the TTK is very, very fast in this game. It definitely compares to Modern Warfare, feels right around that sort of like time space. So, you know, you're gonna be taking people out very quickly, so sprint to cancel reload is very beneficial. Now, some of you guys, when you see me moving around the map, you notice that I slide cancel quite a bit, and this is one of those settings right here, having slide behavior on tap instead of hold, which allows me to slide cancel and basically thus increasing my movement and my speed and my ability to get around the map. So those guys that are putting this on hold, I would suggest changing it to tap. It's so much more beneficial just to be able to tap that button and slide as opposed to even just holding it. Even if you don't want to slide cancel or anything else like that, just be able to have that right there. But for me, if you're slide canceling, I basically just do like a double tap on my slide button, and then I press X to kind of get up, and then you just kind of rinse and repeat that process over again. It's just it takes a bit of time to get used to, but that's how you slide cancel more or less, and this is a setting you have to have on to be able to do it. Now I'll show you some of that nitty-gritty stuff, my actual sensitivities, and what you guys will be able to see, like how I'm able to turn around on people and be able to like ADS very quickly and everything like that. So first thing you have on here is going to be I'm playing on a controller. That's my input. My horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity is going to be a 6.6. I don't feel like you need to go any higher than that. I played on an 8.8 beforehand. I figured I was missing a little bit too many shots while using an 8.8, so I switched it down to a 6.6, which plays much better. So if you're missing too many shots, lower it down. You're gonna thank yourself later. I mean, there's no reason to play in like a 20/20, anything else like that. It does not do any benefit to play in a super high sensitivity if you cannot hit your shots. A lot of the pro players, the best people in the world, play on like, you know, something below a 10. So if you're playing on like a 20 and you feel like you're missing too much, you need to definitely lower that thing down, as there's no reason you should ever be playing on probably like a 20. I mean, unless you can handle it and you're hitting all your shots, I mean, good for you, but not very many people can do that. Also, by the way, my ADS sensitivity multiplier is actually at a 1.0. I have seen some other people like where you can, you know, adjust all this stuff and you can change it, you know, where like you want to go down to like, you know, you have 0.8. This is basically just default right here. But personally, my ADS sensitivity multiplier is a 1.0 and my custom sensitivity per zoom is just on a 0.8. I don't feel the need to change this. I also don't really use any other optics other than like red dots or iron sights. And specifically for public match multiplayer, it doesn't really make a difference for me. I don't feel like I need to have any other optics apart from that. So there's no chance of using a 3, 4, 5, you know, 8 high time, you know, high time zoom. It's not going to happen. So that's why I run that. And I run the button layout of tactical flipped. And what this does is I play, so, you know, obviously my melee and my crouch, I've been flipped on the buttons. I don't feel the need to panic knife. I'd rather be able to crouch, slide, and all that stuff. And then, of course, when instead of firing my weapons with the bottom 2 triggers, I fire them with my top ones, which is my L1 and my R1 instead of my L2 and my R2. It may just be a slight thing, but when you actually are able to just tap in those top 2 triggers, there's less delay when you actually tap that button in versus pulling in the bottom trigger. So I'd highly recommend you guys switch over to tactical flipped, or just flipped in general, so that way you can ADS faster and shoot your gun faster as opposed to having to pull all that gun in. I mean, it does make a difference when the TTK is incredibly fast like it is here in Vanguard, so definitely try that out. Also, my aim response curve type here, for those guys that want to be able to see, I play on dynamic. There's the options of standard, linear, and dynamic. I personally find this to be the best possible sensitivity setting, or like my ADS or my aim response curve type, my bad. So just go ahead and try out dynamic. I don't find there to be a benefit using standard or linear over dynamic. I've been playing on dynamic for a while now. I've tried out all 3 of them. And I'll tell you what, dynamic is definitely the way to go. Also, for those guys who want to be able to see, my ADS sensitivity transition timing is on instant. My sensitivity multiplier set aim is on 1.0. My stick layout preset is on default. And then we can go down here. I also changed out my left trigger and my right trigger minimum input dead zone. I don't have any sort of like weird trigger drift, if that's what you want to call it. So I just turn that all the way down. As soon as I click it, I want it to happen. I don't need there to be any sort of dead zone. And my left stick minimum input dead zone is at a 10 and my right stick is at a 10. I could probably change this to about like a 7. That's why I have it on Warzone. But the only reason you want to be able to have a dead zone is if you actually start getting the stick drift, aka if you set your controller down, your character starts moving around, looking a little bit, that means you have stick drift. So that's why the dead zone comes in very handy. So if I was you guys, definitely go ahead and adjust your dead zone to the point where, you know, you're not getting any of that stick drift. Though at some point you may have to chalk your controller, because, you know, when you get too much, you can't really do anything about it. And then to finish this off, I'll just show you guys here some of my audio settings, since people probably want to know what that is. I only just play on like a 50% audio because this game is ungodly loud and I hear everything perfectly fine. My music volume's at 0 just because I don't really care to hear all the music and everything like that. My hit marker sound is actually on classic just because I like the classic hit marker sound. My audio mix is on headphones. And that's pretty much about it. With that all being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe if you are brand new, and go check out all these other videos here on the channel. We're gonna have so much content here for Vanguard that's gonna be amazing, and you guys are definitely gonna love it. Just remember, don't triple cap, don't be Randy, and I'm out. Peace.